Hello. Welcome to the pet room. What I have in front of me here is an interesting machine. I never really looked at the back before. Anyway, it says 8032. But when you open it up, and it has these switches on the side, it is indeed a SuperPET. But it says 8032. But then, when you turn it around and look at the very back, being careful, you find that what it says here under model, it says it's a 9000, and its serial number is SP90000162. So it's a fairly old SuperPET, perhaps even before they had the SuperPET stuff or emblems ready to go. Maybe, possibly. So it definitely was. It's not been added to. And it says crush on high voltage inside. It's funny, the original monitors, like on the old PET that I was looking at, you can take the back off. And these ones, not so. And really, I've not had experience in removing such things, but I'm sure I will have at some point. Not today. Oh, look, hang on. You know what? I have a filthy magic eraser here that's falling apart. But you see that spot on there? I betcha. If I just go like that. Woo-hoo-hoo. It's gone. And it is glistening white. And this is, and this gets filthy real quick. Anyway, this machine is rather filthy. This was, if I remember rightly, the one that had the mouse nest in it. Yuck. Ugh. Well, there is only one thing to do at this moment, because I know, after looking at the board and other things, that the actual board of the 8032, it is in rough shape. Very rough shape. Probably due to mice living in here. So, what I'm going to do is open this up and look around some. And maybe I will take my light and I will look inside and say, ooh. Well, I believe it is time to take this board out. So this, and it's funny, I was worried about this. I'm not sure why it has. This is a connector that goes, well, I guess what it does, okay, looking at this, sorry. This is a connector that goes from the SuperPET board to the main board. So the power is switched so that the main power goes into the SuperPET board, and then this transfers the power down to the lower board. But there is a burn mark on there. Why? I don't know. So, I'm going to try and get the power connector out. And then I'm looking around. I don't know if I've ever taken one of these out before, but I am assuming, which is not always a good thing to do, that I can't just take it out in one. Like, this is a two-board thing, and I think for the back I will need a shorter screwdriver. Perhaps not the right kind of screwdriver. It's a Phillips head that I seek, and I thought there was something else here. Nope. Well, that might do. Anyway, there's a screw near the front left, and a screw near Oh, come on. You've got to break free. I just want to break free. Alright, maybe that screwdriver thing is not quite the right size, so I'm going to go back to the big one and try very hard not to cause trouble here. It does not want to come. Oh, that is disturbing. Well, there's a screw here that looks like it is a little bit out. So I will remove it. It does look very much like the other one that is here. I'm going to try and lean this back ever so gently against the wall, kind of, and it does kind of do it. So this should give me a little extra oomph on this screw. Aha. And now it is coming out. And it too looks the same as the other two. So does that free up this board? And indeed it does. Now once again, there's a power connector that goes to this board, and there is a ribbon cable. And maybe I will try to get the ribbon cable off the bottom board. Maybe. Oh man. Whew. It doesn't want to come. I don't think there's anything extra that holds these things in or secures them. I think. Oh, okay. I did what I don't like doing. I pulled on the cable a little bit. Oh well. Alright, so here, let's switch the light around. Here is the upper board of a SuperPET, an early one. This is one that had two boards. Eventually, they condensed it down to one, and I think this, from what I remember, is mostly, but not completely, RAM. Let me have a look. And it might have been a board that they got from somebody else. Yeah, CompuThink Expandamem, made in USA. So maybe, in order to get things going, maybe they had used one of these to see what was what, and they said, okay, let's get some out the door. And they just bought these because it certainly looks like there's a whole lot of RAM on here. That's not all. I should get a little brush and tidy this up. But anyway, not at this moment. So this board would go in like that. Up here, that's the power connector. There's a ribbon cable, and that's really all it connects besides the screws. So I'm going to set that over here. And I'm going to turn my light back inside here and look and say, aha. Now these switches really need, oh, that's right, and there's another switch on here. And what is that for? I don't know. And how is it attached? I don't know. This may make it difficult, because that switch seems to be soldered. Oh well, not impossible to deal with. And both of them would appear to potentially have been glued onto the case. That is not necessarily good. Now, the other thing I gotta do here, oh my word, that's gonna be tough. I've got some more screws to take out, but also some of these legs on the upper board actually screw into the lower board. And that's all the same. so far, just 5 screws have been needed. But this whole thing here, oh man, they are snug. Okay. So that comes out. And you know what? I think I might see. Oh, yeah. That's great. This ribbon cable, there's another ribbon cable that goes up from the bottom. I think it's been chewed on some. That's not what I wanted to find at all. And also, this thing here, which goes down to the main board, is about the only thing I think, maybe not. Oh no, there's another screw here. It may be the last thing. This other leg thing. So that's 6 little screws. And now we're here. And at this juncture, well, it would have been a miracle if I had the wrench right handy. It would have been. But what is that switch? And how am I going to get these off? I think I'm going to have to get them. Well, you know what? As I'm here, and I can give this a try, I suppose, maybe I will try to give this switch a little pry. Look at that. A little pry. And it came off. And a lot of these other things, I remember the SuperPET ones, they had they were either riveted or screwed on, but these ones, maybe in the early days, maybe they just glued them. So I'm going to try to take this little, well, this is not so tiny a screwdriver. Maybe I'll take this tiny screwdriver and get in behind here. Now, it's actually, it may not, well, yeah, it's necessary. Because I'm sure, oh yeah, well, we kind of got behind it a little bit, but it didn't do much helpful anything. Oh, that might look like a spot where I could get a bigger screwdriver in and have some level of success. The switch, well, they seem to be 2 different plasticky things. Oh yeah, this is like big heavy glued stuff. No screws involved. Okay, I'm going for the other one. Trying, of course, to do no harm. I will look for this little screwdriver for a moment. Let's see if I can get it. Okay. All right. So we have the. I can't. Oh, well, I guess I can take them off here and show them to you. These are the magic switches. They say program, read, write, and read, and program 6502, 6809. And there they are. Those are essential. And they plug onto the bottom board, or, sorry, the middle board of this. And here is this other switch, which I can't take off. It's soldered in. And I'm not sure what it does. I just don't know. I just don't know. And like a lot of these things on Commodore things, like this thing has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has 7 little holes. There's one that's full because there's only 6 pins. So they make it impossible to put in backwards as long as that little space holder is there. So let me just push around here, and I find, of course, that this board is still quite secure on here. You know what? I'm not going to, basically, I'm pretty sure that this other ribbon cable is ruined. because it looks like it's been chewed on. But this thing here is the trouble. Let me just glance over yonder and see if I have anything hidden away in this early pet that would help. Because I have a pet here that has no board in it, and I know I was stashing things inside. Oh, but do I see pliers? I do not. So now, of course, that I have moved things around, it may not close. Oh, it might. There it goes. All right, it closed. What is this thing? Anyway. Oh, wait. I see a little handle. Okay. This set of little wee pliers may save the day. It might. Oh, I felt something turn. Ah. And see, the leg is also a screw that goes into the bottom. Oh, is there another one? Oh, well, there's another leg, but it's not. Now this, what is this? Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. That's not connected. I've got the thing. Oh, I see. The last thing that's connected is the chewed on ribbon cable, which is probably, oh no, it's not. There's another thing. Okay. The only connection between the SuperPET, the thing that happens with the upper boards and the lower boards is the 6502 is in the upper board. And there's a thing in the bottom that goes into that socket. And when you flip the switch, it decides. So that is still here. And that is, I have found them to be most delicate. And as I'm pulling on it, I'm finding that the thing I'm supposed to pull on, I think for sure, is going to rip. So I'm not going to pull on it. Oh, okay, I got it off. Okay, so now we have a ribbon cable that is probably ruined by the chewing. But I don't want to hurt anything else while I get this off. So I'm going to try, with great care and reverence, to get this off. And it's not happening. But I gotta get it out. So it may be time to take this little wee screwdriver and give it a little bit of a pry, which I don't like doing, but you know, you gotta do. Or you know what, now that I can get at the bottom part here, maybe if I give this a yank, I can get it out. Maybe. Oh, okay. Okay, I think, maybe, possibly, despite all the wires and things and stuff, that the bottom of this two board thing is out with its wires connected. Its other thing here, which I don't understand. And if I look carefully at the ribbon cable, it is definitely one of the wires. If you look here, one of the wires right there has been compromised. Now, does that one matter? I don't know. So what does this board have to say for itself? Definitely looks like it has some ROMs and things. Come on, glasses. Get on my head. What does it say? Well, Does it even say anything about Commodore? Remember, this was a project between the University of Waterloo and Commodore. And I'm looking for something that says something about something. And I'm seeing nothing. There's one wee extra wire on the bottom, which would have been something that I guess at the end they said, oh no, we gotta have this little wire. But that happens. It happens, and I'm sure on the next batch they might have corrected that. Now I'm looking. Oh, great. So this switch here, this other switch, this will be tormenting because one of the wires where it's soldered on is not there, like it's not attached. Now it may be. It's kind of easy to tell where it probably was. But anyway, so what we have are the lower and upper boards from a SuperPET pulled out of this rather awful looking 8032 board. It does, it's got an EEPROM in there that's not covered. Oh no! And the other thing, it has the magic thing that connects the board to the board. And as I remember, they had pins that were, how would I put this? Not great. They weren't strong enough. They were not. And I mean, they were only designed to ever go in once, but even then, they were not strong enough. They were not. Anyway, yeah, this board needs some major going over, and it may end up, of course, being a donor, depending. But I was talking to a fellow who rescued a battery damaged Amiga 4000, and part of it was to bathe it in something or other and let it dry very well. And you know what I think I might do right now, because I'm here and I can. Ooh. I don't know if I want to take this board out, but I'm just going to, there are 4 that I can see of these legs. And maybe I will take them out at this time, because I do not foresee at the moment putting this back into this machine. Legs with screws. But they would probably be handy if I'm going to try out this board in another machine. Because otherwise, how do I mount it? So there are 4 little legs, and out they come. And now, here is something that scares me, but I'm going to try and do it, is to get out the thing that goes in the 6502 socket that then lets the 2 boards talk. And as I said, I'm very wary of this. Very. Oh, I really can't move that very well. I'm taking my little whisk. Okay. We are making progress. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing that I thought. Okay, so there, and this one has not been chewed. This goes in the 6502 socket, and I don't know how well you can see those pins. I'm not sure at all. but they are not, they're okay. But you see, when you're working on this thing and reaching way in the back, it's really hard to see and very easy to bend a pin over. And I think what I would do if I was going to put this back in, I'll have to look and see if I have one. I think I would put another socket on this socket that's really, really strong. At least I would think about it. Here's the little puller thing you're supposed to be able to pull this off with. And it already, like, well, it's 40 years old, but I feel like if I were to really yank on it, it would just disintegrate. So that is essential. That is essential. Because right now, what we have in front of us, much as the case said, is an 8032. It is. But it's not in good shape. Actually, I think what we will do is take a little trip around the board. One moment. Da, 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 da. Let's see here. I will go to camera, and I will put the light on, and I will go to video. And I will clean the lens ever so slightly, and we'll see if this works. Why am I seeing myself there? Oh, no, okay. So, we've done this a little bit before. But now that I've got this off, you can see more. Alright, so here is a look inside this 8032, otherwise known as an 9000 series, a SuperPET. And yes, there is much damage. And you know, it's a funny thing, because I don't think the light came on. It did not come on. Why did the light not come on? Well, I guess this is okay. I'll try and stay on an angle. Anyway, there's still lots of stuff to deal with in here. There's all the little jumpers that make it a 40 or an 80. That's pretty rusty. And then we go down, down, down. There's the EEPROM that doesn't have a cover. We'll fix that. And it doesn't look so bad back in here, because I guess the mice couldn't get to it. That's the 6502 socket that, of course, we just took the connecting cable out of. There goes the keyboard cable. So it's really where the mice could get out on the lower level that shows the most damage, filth, etc., etc. Now, let me just rub this board a second. I'm sure what this will say here is, yeah, it's a universal. I figured it would be. Anyway, this may end up being a donor, we'll see. There's still, like, here's the power. There is corrosion, etc. Now, does the power supply work? I don't know. Not yet. I won't give that a try at the moment. I'll just leave it. At some point, I do want to figure out about these magical little jumpers in here and how you do different things with the jumpers and change that chip right there, the one that's in a socket, 901-474-03. Swap that with one from a FAT 40, and you've got a FAT 40 after you do whatever the switches are. And it's, they're not all marked that they need to, but it probably means, like, it looks like there's 2 locations for all of these. It does. So it probably means every one of these things has to be taken out and moved over, or other wires put in and these ones cut, or, whatever. I did see one machine that had like pins installed in here, and then you could do things with these big jumpers. But I've never tinkered with it. Anyway, back to the front. Oh my. Yeah, that pretty much says it all. Well, I hope the mice enjoyed their stay. I hope. Anyway, the SuperPET on the inside. But remarkably, a bunch of these things will be able to be saved, I would bet. A little cleaning, a little tender, loving care. So, that's enough of a look inside. So, we have extracted the board. So I figure what I'll do now, of course, I will write notes. I will put something in here, and I will get some, I suspect, big freezer bags. I think they will fit these things. And I will very carefully set aside the upper board, the lower board, and all the connectors and accessories and bits and pieces that at some point I can try to put this SuperPET, the SuperPET boards and things inside an 8032 and give them a try. And do I expect it to work? Well, you know what? Over the years, I found that usually the 8032 board has issues. And I don't think I've ever found a set of, whether it be one or two boards of a SuperPET that didn't work. Maybe it's because they're higher up. Maybe they avoided corrosion. In this case, they certainly avoided, mostly, the mice. And you know what? That cable that's chewed, if that thing isn't needed, won't make any difference. If it's needed, it will make a difference. But in that case, I suspect a wire, much like the little red wire on the bottom of this board. I think that was this board. It was a little red wire. Yes, a little red wire was run. Because sometimes things happen. So I suspect I could do it now. I suppose it would be interesting to check out some more of this at the moment. But I think I'll leave that for another video. For sure. There's no 6502 in here. I did try powering this up at one point, and nothing happened. I think it has a fuse. But, as I'm going through, it wouldn't be a bad thing to be able to test out the monitor. Let me reach behind. Does it have a fuse? Well, it seems to. Anyway, you know what? That's enough for now. Time to make sure I have this stuff put away carefully and move on to another thing. So, signing off from the pet room, David Bradley here. Thanks so much for coming. Much more to do. It is endless. But I'll get it done. No, wrong hand. Bye for now.